Hello, and welcome to what I would potentially call episode number one of this new YouTube project. My name is Scott, and what am I doing here? Well, that's I've been a avid Nintendo NES player and gamer for as long as I can remember. I got an NES in 1989 for Christmas, set age 7. Um, Fell in love with it immediately. Played every opportunity I could get. Was at friends' houses. I knew what games every one of my friends had. Was renting games every weekend. Subscribed to Nintendo Power. Watched all the cartoons. I just lived and breathed that whole late '80s, early '90s NES Nintendo mania, and it continues to this day. I've been playing NES games nonstop since. Still play them very regularly, if not daily, definitely several times a week. Um, and I'm constantly trying to dig in and learn about new games that I kind of missed along the way. But I'm also one who just really enjoys rewatching and playing the same games over and over. I like to get better at them. I like to get faster at them. I like to discover new secrets that I didn't know before. And this kind of started as an experiment with a friend of mine who was getting into some NES games that he hadn't played before, and specifically Castlevania is a game that I feel like I know pretty well. And he was struggling with some spots or just wanted some tips. And I said, what I can do is I just record a video of myself playing through some of the harder spots to give you maybe some pointers. That turned into an entire video. And it was enough fun that I kind of decided, hey, maybe I'll do this again. And he kind of also prompted me and said he would enjoy that. So what the heck, why not? So I will probably re-record Castlevania at some point in the future. But for now, we're going to start with Megaman. I also want to kind of get off right out of the bat. This is not intended to be anything prestigious. I am not the best gamer in the world. I'm not the fastest gamer in the world. These are not intended to be speed runs. These are not intended to be 100% completion guides. I know that I'm going to get things wrong. In fact, every bit of trivia or knowledge that I say during these episodes is based purely on decades of playing games, reading Nintendo Powers, talking with friends who are like-minded. I'm going to get things wrong. You're going to find things or secrets that I don't know. I'm not going to be as fast as other people. That's fine. I'm never claiming to be. I'm just here to have fun. And hey, if somebody learns something by watching one of these, great. But at the same time, teach me things. If you see something that I missed in the comment, leave a comment and tell me. I'm always up for learning new secrets, shortcuts, etc. So with that in mind, we can kick off my Mega Man run. This kind of started like how all of these episodes will go, where I was just playing the game and happened to record it. And lo and behold, this was one of the best runs that I've ever done on the game, and I thought it was worthy of actually uploading and saving. I won't record and upload every single time I play through one of these games. There'd be far too many, but if it's a good run, or if I happen to do it without dying, or break my record of time or whatever, then maybe I'll post. So sorry for rambling, just wanted to give a little bit of a preface here. So without further ado, we will get started here on Mega Man. So yeah, for people who don't know, obviously Mega Man is a long-running series. This game was the first. All of the Mega Man games follow a pretty similar template where you can select from anywhere from 6 to 8 different bosses at the start of the game. They kind of standardized 8 later. This one started and only had 6. Doesn't really matter which one you pick, although the gimmick of Mega Man is when you beat one of the stages, beat the boss at the end, you gain their weapon and can then use it on other bosses, and they all have a weakness that the game's easier if you use the right weapon or against the right boss. I always start with Bomb Man. I find that he's one of a couple that's probably the easiest to beat without a weapon. So yeah, that's just the habit that I typically start in. As I go through the video, I'll kind of point out little things that I do, or notes, just tricks that I know, or they're things that I use to kind of help me get through it. I'll start here with these Sniper Joes. They're a pain in the butt. The best way, I mean, they're later Mega Man games, they were timed a little bit better, and you could basically predict when they were going to lower their shields so that you could shoot them. This one, you kind of have to trick them. You can jump or just kind of wait for them to lower the shield. These little bullets that are flying at you here, you kind of want to shoot those as early as possible because they explode and it's a pretty big blast radius. So trying to not detonate them when they're right next to you is ideal. The first Mega Man also has a challenge that is very apparent right here in this screen. Almost every Mega Man game, right after you get hit, you have a little brief window of invulnerability. That includes instant death things like falling on spikes. This one does not work that way, so you have to be very careful when jumping over spike pits, because if you get hit and fall into the pit, you will die. Likewise, always be careful when you're kind of on the edge of a platform, because if you get hit, it does knock you back a few pixels. Very easy to get knocked back, so you kind of want to just learn the spots where it's likely to take a hit and avoid being on the edge. I'm not too worried about not taking damage along the way, because sometimes it's just speed, sometimes, I don't know, I just know I can absorb some damage. So here's the first fight. This is with Bomb Man. As you can see, his bombs have a very large blast radius when they detonate. He typically throws them in threes, so when he shoots or throws one, you kind of want to dodge and get out of the way. Sometimes you can pin him and get him into a corner where he'll just keep jumping over you, so staying close to him helps. You just don't want to get yourself in a corner, because then you can't back out. But that's the Bomb Man fight. We'll move on to Guts Man next. This stage is funny to me because it is so incredibly short. The game's standardized as you went, further into the franchise, and the levels kind of all became about the same length. This one is, much, I don't know, it's just funny how short it is. This part can be very difficult coming up. You basically want to watch for this platform to show up, and you're timing your jumps, and you obviously can see the little gaps on the track where it's going to cause the platform to dip. You need to watch the part that's on the track, because it's easy for your eye to get get off. But yeah, keep an eye there. These guys usually aren't too bad. Wait for them to dip down and get to you. Alright, then what's next? Okay, these guys coming up here that throw the mining picks. If you're lucky, you can kind of shoot them, and then when they throw one, just inch forward a little bit, and you can kind of keep dodging. If you need to take a couple hits, that's fine. Just be careful jumping here, because they will come up and hit you, knock you into the spikes. When you jump down here, you're going to want to try to stay as far to the left as possible. There are some spikes, so keep pushing left here. Grab some health. Jump down here, and again, push left. Sometimes you miss it, but if you're careful, you can get that one up. Here's the big eye. Sometimes you can kill him before he gets up to you. He will take a very big chunk of your health, so be careful. And his jumps, there's some jumps are higher than others, so you can sometimes get lucky and get under him, but a lot of times it's easier to just take the hit. This is the only Mega Man game where there's enemies in the little hallway before the boss, and they do respawn, so you can do what I'm doing here and kind of just make a couple passes back and forth if you need to kind of refill some health. Health is not... The health drops do not give you that much, so it might take a while. Okay, Guts Man. He'll only take 3 hits with the bomb. It's difficult to time and to get the placement right. Typically, if you can get the bombs there toward like the, I don't know, 3/4 of the way across the screen, you'll hit him. He will occasionally jump all the way forward, and then you kind of have to dodge away. The big thing is just jumping over those the shrapnel when the boulders come at you. Beyond that, yeah, he's not too bad. The regular weapon is actually pretty effective against him as well. So if you're having a tough time landing the bombs, just skip it and use your regular beam. Okay, now we move on to Cutman. This is actually one of the easier stages, I feel like. And I think Cutman's one of the easier bosses, especially when you get to the end at Wily's castle. He's much easier than he is here, and that's just because the room that he's in now, there's extra obstacles that kind of make it harder. But yeah, if you wanted to start with Cutman, I know that there are people who do that, and it's not a bad strategy. He's pretty easy to take out with just your regular beam as well. Okay, most of these, I would not advise skipping most of these enemies. The bullets can hit you, and then it's very easy to fall. You won't die if you fall through those pits, but you will have to climb all the way back up here, and the enemies respawn each time. The item drops, those little balls that are dropping, are just points. Points do nothing in this game, so if you want a high score, go for it, but there's no reason to really collect them. And then obviously, yeah, the little yellow pellets that drop are health, and the blue ones, like that one right there, will recharge your weapons if you switch to one of those. Occasionally one-ups drop, but they're pretty rare. These rooms, you can kill all of these enemies if you want to, or you can just kind of dodge them. There's a couple spots where you can tell where they're going to be, and you can avoid pretty easily. Or yeah, obviously here you can't get past them. If you're going to try to jump past this one, just make sure you're pushing to the edge. Personally, I don't like to kill the ones that are on the far right there, because every now and then they'll drop a one-up and you can't easily get to it. It just sucks. Here, stay hard to the left, just so that they don't hit you as they come back down. Those blades hit pretty hard, so just try to run right past them. Kill these bladers. There's some health there you can grab if you need it. And then here's another spike trap, or I'm sorry, not spikes, but pits, so be careful of getting hit by that guy. Here's the spikes. So yeah, just try to move quickly, and you've got another big eye right down here. I like to kill them when they're chasing me, just in case they drop some health, because they, like I said, they'll take a lot away. Knock those out, 3 hits each. And for Cutman, like I said, you can use the regular beam, it works pretty well. Or if you pick up those blocks, you can kill him in 2 shots. When you're going to use the gut weapon like that, before you hit the button to pick up the block, make sure the block is blinking, otherwise you'll waste the weapon. Try it out, you'll see what I mean. Cutman's actually pretty easy to dodge, but because those blocks are there, you don't have enough room to really work around him, so it's just easier to use Gut's weapon and take him out. Alright, Megaman. This is one of the slower stages, just because there's a lot of things you kind of have to stop and wait for. Those little, I don't know, Roomba-looking weapon or enemies up there. The elect beam will kill them. The cut beam or the rolling cutter will kill them. If you shoot them with just the regular beam, they'll stun for a second, which is nice. But a lot of times it's pretty easy to just kill them and go. You'll have opportunities to refill your rolling cutter before you get to Megaman, so feel free to use it a little bit. Those beams are pretty easy to time. Okay, this room here, these little green alien-looking things that come down. The rooms that have them, there's always the same pattern. There'll be 3 from the top on the left and then 3 from the bottom on the right. If you move quickly and aim just right, you can actually take the 3 on the left out and move straight through for the screen. And it's the same, you know, every time you see them. It's always going to be that same pattern. Okay, wait here for a second. The box is going to be right above you, and it's easiest to go to the right. So wait, then jump, climb up there. It's kind of a little teaching room to teach you how the block patterns work. Here you're going to have 4 jump to get to that last spot. Those little weapon upgrade or weapon refills aren't really worth it. Okay, careful on the jumps here. It's not too bad. If you fall, you will die. Okay, you can go left or right. I think right is slightly easier, but it's about the same. Going up here, just time the lightning. You'll probably get hit once or twice until you kind of learn the pattern, but it's pretty easy to dodge. Here's 3 more of those green ones. Got lucky there. Okay, and then this little item is the only secret weapon in the game. It's the magnet beam. So switch to your guts weapon and grab those blocks. This is the other reason I like to do the bosses in this order, so that you have the gut weapon when you get to this. Okay, at this point I think it's easier to stay on the left rather than the right. The rolling cutter again to clear out a couple of these as you climb. Time this here. One more. Let that one up there. He'll just jump right past you. If you do get hit by one of those, be sure to press up and grab the ladder right away, because otherwise you will fall all the way through. Okay, here's a recycled room from before. If you're struggling with those, use the magnet beam. Now that you have that, it just creates a little bar platform that you can walk on. And another big eye. Okay, this is the only hallway in the game that does not have any enemies, so you cannot refill health. This is also the only hallway before a boss that goes vertically instead of horizontally, so it's interesting to enter a boss room from below. This hallway can be very frustrating if you don't get the timing right, because you will fall and you'll just have to keep doing it again. Okay, 3 hits with the rolling cutter will take out Megaman. If you time it right, you can actually hit him twice with your first throw. The rolling cutter will also break his elect beams that he shoots at you too. So he hits pretty hard, and he's fast. So just try to get in there, blitz him before he can get you, and he's really not too bad. Okay, that leaves us with Iceman and Fireman. I think these are 2 of the tougher parts of the game. Iceman's stage has a couple of spots that are tricky, and Fireman, I think, is maybe the hardest boss in the game. These enemies here, if you shoot them in the torso, they'll fly around like a crazy person like that. If you hit them in the head, it'll kill them completely. So just try to aim up. 1 shot will take them out. This is the only Mega Man game where being in water does not change your jump or movement speed. Interesting. I'm going a little bit slower, but that's just because of game slowdown, not because of the water. Keep moving ahead. That one you can kill, or you can just shoot him to stun him. And move in here. You've got a little bit of health you can get if you need it. Go ahead and switch to the elect beam here, because there's a little Roomba on the ground that you want to hit before he can get you. You can get those from the ground with the rolling cutter, but the elect beam's a little more effective. Alright, this is another practice room because the There's really no consequence to falling, but it's just trying to learn the pattern. Just watch what I do. It's really not that hard. Here again, you got a Roomba you want to take out with the Elect Beam. This one takes a little bit more practice. You want to kind of start toward the right, jump on that one, then go to the right, and then the left. There's a couple of like leaps of faith you have to make, and then here it's right above you. Okay, here's the biggest challenge in the stage. Those little platforms shoot at you, and their pattern of movement is completely unpredictable. So you want to use the magnet beam to move across. It's a difficult item to use. It kind of flickers in and out, so it's kind of hard to see, but it will also disappear after a few seconds. So you kind of do what I did there and shoot it for a little while, jump up to the next one, and make about 5 or so different steps you can make it across. It will take practice, though. You will probably die several times and or run out of enough energy to use it more. So you'll probably do this stage several times if you're new to the game. I know you can use those platforms that shoot at you to get across, but it's a pain to me. This is a great room to refill because those penguin enemies will just keep coming non-stop. Okay, Iceman only takes 3 shots with the Elect Beam, but you want to be quick because his Ice Slasher hits hard. So for the first shot, jump and hit him in the air, then just 2 more and you should have him no problem. Be aware too that in this game, the enemy weapons will still hit you and hurt you even after the enemy's dead. So you have to, if you're low on health, jump that last Ice Slasher. I've had many games in Mega Man where I've died against a boss because I killed him, but still got hit right at the very last minute, especially from like Bomb Man or Guts Man. They're notorious for it. Okay, this is one of the best stages in terms of music. I really like the beat here. There's some tricky jumps, and then I think Fireman's maybe the hardest boss for me personally. So yeah, I like to save this one for last. But we're just going to move through. We're going to be careful. There's a lot of lava, instant death. Those little blowtorches come up from the ground, and these little fireballs float down in semi-unpredictable patterns. They can easily hit you, knock you back into the lava. So if they're starting to come low, just try not to stand near an edge, and try not to be jumping when they're close to you, because if they hit you, it's unlikely you'll be able to hit the platform you want. Ice Slasher will freeze these, which can be used to jump if you want to avoid them. Little magnet bars. Nice to get across some of this. Just save you some headache. Some health if you need it. Okay. Yeah, there's lots of little spots there where the fire is just like right below you. Like right here, if you just fall straight down, you'll be in the lava. If you fall too far to the right, you'll hit that flame. It's tricky. It's easy to fall off the edge here. Those fireballs too, as they fall, you can kill them pretty easily. Depends on whether it's not worth the risk to put yourself into a uncomfortable position to try to kill them. So if you can avoid them, usually 2 of them go one direction, the 3rd one goes a different direction, so you can avoid them pretty easily. Magnet bar, short little one here on the left. Easiest way to avoid that room. And some more of these little bullets that like to explode, so just shoot them and keep them at a distance. Plus some Roombas, so tricky to avoid getting hit here. I like the Elect Beam, like I said, to take them out. And then refill some weapons. If your point of yours is low, you'll need the Ice Slasher against Fireman, so if you've been using that, refill it. And here we go, fight against Fireman. His weapon, the Firestorm, is wide. Sometimes he only shoots one, sometimes he shoots two or three. It's difficult to get a timing or a pattern down to avoid him. Typically, if you kind of shoot while jumping, you can jump over a couple of his shots at the same time. Be aware that they also kind of leave a little flame on the ground behind him, or where he shoots, so just dodge as you can. Really just kind of speeds your best friend in that fight. And with that, we're ready for Wily. Wily's Castle's not too bad in this one. 4 stages total, I believe. It's funny, they really run the gamut. There are some very difficult stages, and then one in particular that is laughably easy. It's kind of a nice little reprieve before you have to fight the boss rush at the end. Okay, they kind of throw everything at you here. They expect you to know what all your weapons do because you're pretty much going to be using all of them to help get through. The Ice Slasher is great to stop these 3 big eyes that are one in a row, or all in a row. Easiest to just freeze them, run under them. Be aware too that your weapons do not refill after each stage here, so you need to be somewhat conservative. There are opportunities to refill, just be aware. Here you want to freeze those. Don't freeze them if they're too high, and because you can't get through. So you want the first 2 to be pretty low. The third one can be higher. Climb the ladder and fall down there. Otherwise, that jump over that first little spike pit is very difficult. And here, switch to the elect beam, and you can sometimes hit that guy before he falls on you. If he does hit you, be sure to hold up so that you don't fall down the ladder. You can use the gut weapon or elect beam to move those blocks. Gut's weapon is far less useful, so I would not waste the elect beam. These little bullets can be tricky too because the bomb can explode and knock you back into the spikes, so you kind of want to have a pattern of shoot, then jump, shoot, jump. If you try to jump too prematurely, you'll fall in the spikes for sure. This room also is terrible. Those little guys are very hard to predict. Just use your magnet beam to get across. Restock because you need as much magnet beam as you can, especially for this room, or if you happen to fall. So you want to use just little hops and just small little beams there. And then same here, just little hops. Don't jump too high because you won't be able to get up to the beam either. If you run out of weapon, you'll have to go down, probably die, so that you can get more. That's the only way up there. Alright, and here is the most notorious enemy in the game. There is a cheat that people use to beat him easily, using the select pause trick, but he's not that bad if you just get the pattern. The blocks that are flying at you always follow the same pattern. So if you learn it, it's not that bad. There's only one spot where you have 2 in a row, it was right there, that you have to dodge, but otherwise it's just a single shot. You have enough time to hit him with the elect beam once, and his eye will always appear in a random spot, so it's not easy to know where it is, but usually kind of just aim there toward the center and you'll be fine. It's also, the best strategy I can say is just keep an eye on where he is before he moves, because you see the little blocks transform, so you know which one's going to fly at you. It's only the first time that it's difficult because they're coming from off screen. The only other thing that's really challenging with him is he shoots at you while you're trying to jump and shoot at him. So I try to jump immediately even before you see the eye, and if you do that, usually his bullet will fly past you. So just dodge. As soon as he reforms, jump and shoot. You usually should be fine. Okay. Next stage can be a little bit tricky. Like I said, none of your weapons have refilled, so keep an eye out for refill cartridges so you can get some of those weapons back. You will start to need them in the next stage or two. Really, this is a very repetitive stage. You'll see the same screen 3 different times. So two times, 3 times, I think 3. And it's very easy to fall. The enemies change each time you come through here, but they all do the same thing, which makes it very easy to fall down. There's a little pit here. If you need the items, you can use the magnet bar to get across. And then when you fall down, you're going to get your first revisit to one of the bosses. You do have to fight all 6 of them again. This time, Cutman is much easier to just use the regular beam. You can dodge his attacks pretty easily, and if you keep hitting him, you kind of keep him pinned in a corner. You could, you know, use other weapons. There's really nothing that is a good weakness, so yeah, I would just use the regular beam, save everything else. Here, the elect beam is kind of your best friend for taking those guys out, because it shoots straight down. And then once again, we've got a pit, and you can go across and get some items if you need them before you have to fight Electman. Yeah, same strategy here, just try to hit him with a rolling cutter. If you hit him and then kind of back off, you could get lucky and hit him twice. And here we are on our 3rd time. This may be the worst because of the bombs, and they have a little explosion, so you kind of just watch where they fall, and they kind of do a jump back and loop around, if that makes sense. If you try to get between the shots, you will get hit. Alright, you're at the last stretch here. This is a really great way to restock on things. Elect Beam's a great weapon to take out multiple enemies kind of all at once. Grab a 1-up if you want it. Go back to the Elect Beam. So yeah, just kind of wait for them to all line up together. Sometimes all you get are points, but oh well. Same thing here. If you wait for them all to open, you can get all 4 at the same time. And then yeah, 1 little weapon recharge if you've got something that's low. If you play like I do, you haven't used your Firestorm at all in Wily's Castle, but that's what you're going to want against the boss here. Beyond that, Elect Beam is always nice, so I kind of keep it stocked. And time to switch to the Firestorm. Okay, you're going to fight the clone of Megaman. He can be very difficult, but there's one little trick using the Firestorm that kind of locks him down. It's not perfect, you'll probably still take a couple of hits, but basically what the Firestorm does is 2 things. It does create a little bit of a barrier around you for a second, so if he starts getting close to you, that kind of hits him like it did there and knocks him back. The big trick here is you kind of, he'll mimic your shot, like, so if you shoot and jump at the same time, he'll usually jump into your flame. Takes some timing and some practice, and sometimes he does come to you, but if you're lucky and time it right, you can kind of keep him locked in the corner and just keep hitting him. I've seen strategies where people use almost all of the different weapons. I personally find that this is the easiest to hit him and still dodge myself, because the Firestorm, I feel, is a little slow, so it's easy to dodge it yourself. Okay, this stage is kind of a nice little reprieve because it's so easy. You've got a couple of screens of just enemies like this. You're probably not going to get too many drops from them because most of them are going to fall down the pit. So yeah, go through a couple of these screens, and then we're going to go down into a flooded tunnel. Trick here is go to your regular beam, and once the water starts pushing you, just let it move you along. If you shoot the enemies that come, they won't ever hit you, and it's very easy to just kind of keep a pattern going. If you're desperate for weapons, you can switch to one of them before you. If you see a weapon charge drop, you can switch to a different weapon, like I just did there. There's nothing I really need, but it does work. The water is pushing you forward, so it's difficult, and sometimes you won't be able to switch to the menu and pick a different item in time, but that's fine. You get to this part, you'll start seeing the bullets, so yeah, again, try to shoot them before they come at you. so you don't get hit by the blast. This is also why you don't push forward, so that you can avoid that explosion. Alright, when you get to the end of the room, you'll have to fight, I don't know, some robot in a bubble. Have as much gut weapon charged as you can, because it is easier if you have that. He's not that hard without it, but it does make it much easier if you have that full. Okay, so he's going to come randomly out of one of those three entryways, move around. You just need to shoot him, I don't know, 8 to 10 times, and he'll die, and then some of his health disappears, and you do it again. If you do this, I think it's, I want to say 3 times before switching to gut. That's the best. Each time he comes out, he gets a little bit faster. So you could use the gut weapon right away, but odds are, by the time you're done, you're going to have a tough time hitting him with the regular weapon when he's moving so fast. So I like to do the 3 with the regular weapon while he's still moving slow, then switch to gut, hit him with the 4 blocks. That'll take him out the rest of the way. And we're to the last stage. First little part of this is pretty short and not too bad. There's a nice little bonus treat here halfway through. There's an item that will give you, it'll basically refill all of your weapon energy and health fully, which is nice right before the end boss rush. You're going to have to fight the 4 bosses that you haven't already fought again. So Bomb Man, Guts Man, Ice Man, Fireman, all in a row, followed by Wily, and there's no health between them. So right now, Magnet Beam is really the only thing you need to stock up on, because everything else is going to refill here in a second. Elect Beam is nice here, just to take care of these enemies. If you get shot once or twice, it's fine. You're about to get a bunch of health. Switch over to your Magnet Beam here. There's one of these platforms like there was in Gutsman stage, but you can't ride it all the way across because the gap's too big, so use your Magnet Beam to get across here, get to the ladder, and just wait for it to come back to the right. There's the 1-up you can see, and then just to the right of that is another little item that will refill everything fully. So jump down there, grab it, grab your 1-up if you want it, climb up here and get ready for a boss rush. Like I said, there's no health from this point forward, so you really have to be careful against these bosses. This might be one of the hardest parts of the game. Bomb Man is first. His weakness is the Firestorm, but you really want to save that for Wily, because that makes at least the first form of Wily very easy. So just try to avoid the bombs if you can. Try not to get all the way to the left in the teleporter, because you'll get trapped and you can't avoid his bombs then. Next up, we got Fireman. Same kind of thing. Or same strategy as before. Just shoot him. Again, stay out of the teleporter. If you get pushed back in there, you'll never get out, and he'll hit you and you can't dodge anything. Next, we've got Iceman. Same strategy. You want to jump to hit him with the first one, and then 2 more quickly. And then to avoid his Ice Slasher, as soon as you hit him the second time, just start moving left and get in the teleporter. And then Gutsman, you can use the bomb if you want to, but I find it's very difficult to hit him and not get hit yourself. It's honestly easier to just use your regular weapon, jump his shots. Sometimes he'll be a jerk and he'll come over at you like this. But if you're lucky, you can do it without taking too much damage. Okay. There's one little weapon recharge here. I can already say I have no hope of doing this without dying, because I have very little health left. So, came very, very close to a no-death run, but oh well. Switch to the Firestorm. You've got 2 different forms for Wily. The first one is actually harder, but quicker. If you use the Firestorm and let the little... Yeah, told you. Use the little barrier that forms around you. You let that hit him. He'll go down in just a few hits. Then there's the you're going to get hit by some of the bullets that come out. It's fine. You'll be quick enough that you'll only take a couple hits and you'll be fine. It's the second form that is slower, takes longer. You need to do better at dodging. But here, like I said, just get in there, just go at him. All right. So for this form, you can either use the elect beam, although that's much slower, or just switch here to the firestorm, or stay on the firestorm and kind of do the same thing. I'm doing a very bad job of dodging his bullets. The elect beam, oh, that didn't work. Elect beam is nice because you can hit him from below, but it's much harder to dodge his shot from down there. I'll show you this time the way to actually dodge his bullets, which is what I should have done last time, but oh well. Okay, here he comes again. Quick work of this. Alright, if you kind of... He shoots the bullets at a pretty regular cadence. When he shoots, they always do this like counterclockwise rotation. Right when he shoots, if you move to the right, you can usually dodge. The hard part is when you're directly under him that you have a harder time. So, jump up, shoot him, wait for him to shoot, jump, move to the right slightly. And there you go. Wily never learns his lesson, though. But Megaman's just such a good guy, he's always just going to give him the benefit of the doubt, let him live. But he'll be back. So, that's Mega Man. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like I said, these will be coming, I don't know how regularly. I don't want to do, standard weekly uploads or anything. I think it's basically just as I play a game and have a good recording and either do it in what I think is a pretty good time or do it without, too many deaths, something that's worth bragging about, at least from my perspective. I'm not a cocky person, so I didn't even like using the word bragging there. But yeah, if there's a video that I think is fun to watch and not just watching somebody die 30,000 times over and over again, then maybe I'll record it and put it up. So anyway, this has been fun. Mega Man is one of my favorite games. It gets some hate just because it's kind of rough around the edges, but it's fantastic. If you learn it, it's not that hard. I think its reputation makes it more difficult than it is in reality. So hopefully what I did and showed you was enough to give you a couple pointers to help get you through. But if nothing else, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you be like Mega Man and go out and enjoy the sunset. And yeah, have a nice little break. Thank you for watching. Leave comments, subscribe, tell your friends, suggest games, all the normal stuff. But anyway, thanks for watching, and I hope I get to see you again. Later.